What's going on, guys? Player Genie back with another video. I am so sorry that there was no video this week. I actually recorded a whole video because I've just been on holiday. I went away to Norfolk for the week, and I actually did record a whole video for the whole time I was away, but the whole file corrupted. It was the Russian GP. Obviously, we had the start of the video, but we didn't actually have the race. The whole race video just basically corrupted. I'm just going to quickly briefly tell you what happened in that episode anyway. Basically what happened was I had to change a component part, which then gave me a 20 place grid penalty. So I started at the back of the grid for the Russian GP, and it was one of the craziest races possible. I actually got up there, and yeah, I actually basically made up the 20 spaces and came P1. So yeah, that kind of sucked. But let's get into today's video. We have a few activities to do leading up to the the Japanese Grand Prix. So let's do some of this stuff. We've got power department, simulator training, attend an F1 event, team building, funding team event, and then we've got sponsors advertised. So we'll do the power, and then we will go on and do some simulating, and then we'll do a funded team event at home, and then that will do us for the events. So let's get through. As you can see, I do have warm components. Obviously my components are been very poor. I honestly don't know why they've been so poor, but they have been pretty poor for us here. But yeah, like I said, we did win the Russian Grand Prix, and obviously leading into this Japanese Grand Prix, we've had a lot of problems happen to the car, but let's hope we can get in this Japanese Grand Prix and actually go ahead and win. And yeah, so guys, this is another episode of my F1 2020 career mode. I hope you guys are enjoying this series, because I'm enjoying making it. And yeah, like I always say, if you're brand new around here and you've never seen my content before, please do hit the sub button. It massively helps me out. And if you actually do enjoy this video, please do hit the like button. As I do drop my controller, please do hit the like button, and let's get into the Japanese Grand Prix. So guys, getting into the qualifying pace here, we do have a few bits and bobs to talk about here. I added a new component before the race weekend, so therefore I got a 10 place grid penalty. So no matter what my qualifying is, I'll be 10 places downwards, which always makes the race a little bit more exciting. The car's been performing amazingly on this track here at Japan. Obviously this track is a quick map, so that is, like we've always said, the car performs best on these quicker maps. As you do see, the steering is awful there. I really need to upgrade that area. But yeah, getting into this qualifying pace here, as you can see, the car is going to be horrendously quick around this track, just because purely because that is the car's strength, you know, is being quick. But yeah, the car feels amazing. Like I said, I got a 10 pace grid penalty, so the qualifying, it doesn't matter where I start or whatever, because it's obviously not going to make a difference to the race. I'm going to be 10 points down, so even if I come P1, I'm going to be down the board quite a lot there. But I always like to start mid-pack anyway, because it makes the race interesting. Because when I'm in P1, you're out at the front, and all you're doing is trying to defend against the cars behind you, whereas if you're mid-pack, you then have to, like, you know, claw your way to the top of the table, and it's a bit more impressive. But yeah, obviously, like I said, this track is pretty quick. It has a few tight sections where you do have to obviously slow down, but apart from that, it's a very quick track. And yeah, the car performs amazingly. But yeah, like I said, 10 place grid penalty is going to be a bit of a nightmare to deal with, but not too much of a nightmare. Like I said, I started at 20th in the last GP at Russia, so I've dealt with it before, and I'm sure I could definitely deal with it again. I want to know what you guys think of the new livery, the gunmetal grey and the red. Honestly, it is one of my favourites livery that I've made in a very long time, and I probably won't change it for a very long time, because I love the gunmetal grey and the red as we do cut round there. Mr. Lando Norris ahead of us, a driver that we would like to get on board, but as you can see, qualifying pace, nothing really changes for the car. It's just very good, quick, you know, quickest lap, and it'll probably be the quickest lap of the practice session here. But yes guys, I hope you enjoyed this qualifying pace. Let's get into the one-shot qualification itself, and let's see honestly how we get on in the one-shot qualification. So guys, getting into the qualification right now. It is starting to get serious out here. Like I said, I will have a 10th place grid penalty for this race, but doesn't mean that we're still not going to put maximum effort in for this qualifying. As you can see, the ghost of the car behind is right behind me as we're coming through now. That I believe that was a Danny Ricciardo, and now that does look like a Lando Norris or a Carlos Sainz in the McLaren. But we have to just concentrate and do the best we can, because obviously we do have the 10th place grid penalty, and we don't want to start down in 5th and then get knocked all the way down in further. We want to start in the P1, get knocked down from P1, because then at least we're still in the midfield battle there. As we do come through now, really setting it off at the pace. As you can see behind, the only closest car behind me is the Mercedes, but they're not even that close to me. We are really setting the pace here for the Grand Prix here at the Japanese Grand Prix, should I say. And yeah, that corner there always gets me, but we're still absolutely steaming away from all the other cars. Like I said, this track is kind of suited to this car. Not one of my favourite tracks, but this track is suited to my car, as we do follow it all the way around now. Like they said in an email to me on before this race, they said it's all about the flow, and yeah, that is very correct. It is all about that beautiful flow. And yeah, we just got to keep doing what we're doing, as we do set a fast sector there. As you can see it go in purple to signify that, yeah, we are indeed setting a fast sector as we do come round to this last tight corner leading through to the start line. And yeah, we are going to start on pole, but not because we're going to get the 10th place grid penalty, as we do come across the line here getting the provisional pole. But obviously for the race we're going to be getting the 10th place grid penalty. And yeah, let's have a look. Let's see where our teammate finished, Mr. Jack Aiken, as yeah, he is going up the board. He's done faster than Russell and the Latifi, and now he's up there in 19th, which is good to see for him, as we do advance. I'm just going to wait to see if there's an interview, and if there isn't, then yeah, I will be pushing on to the race day, and let's hope we can do some phenomenal racing, and let's hope we can get the win here at the Japanese Grand Prix. As you can see, we are still leading the rivalries. No interview after that race. And yes, guys, let's get into the race day itself.
We come to you live today from the Mie Prefecture in the south of Japan's Honshu Island for a race that has seen many title deciders over the years. Some simple, some controversial, but all contributing to a legacy that makes the Japanese Grand Prix an indispensable stop in any Formula One season. We're southwest of the city of Nagoya today at the unique figure of 8 Suzuka circuit. 3.6 miles and 18 corners make up a lap here, with average speeds approaching 136 miles per hour. DRS will be available, of course, into the potential passing opportunity at turn 1, although the best place for overtaking will be through 130R and into the final chicane. And with me, as usual, is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about third. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
It's been a really solid year so far. There have been some incredible standout performances, but what's really impressed me has been the consistency. With this kind of form, I'm expecting another great race today.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Daniel Ricciardo starts from pole position today. A very happy Carlos Sainz will start second. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Verstappen, Leclerc, Alexander Albon, and Vettel, Perez, third. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Fiat and Valtteri Bottas, Ocon, Stroll, Lewis Hamilton, and Gasly, Raikkonen, Norris, Romain Grosjean, and Antonio Giovinazzi, Aitken, Magnussen, Russell, and Nicholas Latifi. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
So guys, as you saw, very interesting. A lot of the other people had grid place penalties themselves, so that is a good start for us. So we're starting in 8th, and let's get into this race. Let's fully focus and let's take on these drivers, and let's take home this Japanese Grand Prix. We do get an amazing start there, cutting down on this right side of Albon. Oh my goodness, not Albon, Leclerc. We're pushing the track limits, and we have just absolutely stolen up into the top half of the thing. That was an amazing start by me. The speed on the inside there. We almost got squeezed off the grass there by Albon. He's still squeezing. We're going to have to go off track just a little bit and then re-enter the track. I cannot believe that start. That was absolutely insanity there. But we have dropped right down because of us having to go off the track. So we do have Valtteri Bottas just ahead of us here with Sergio Perez. We do come around for the slight overtake there. We lose control and slam into the wall there. This is not a good start. We had an amazing start there, and now we are in trouble, and we are going to have to keep fighting our way up this pack. I cannot believe this. We have lost control not once but twice of the car, and we're going to really have to start trying to take over people here as we do brake and give Pierre Gasly a little love tap. Hamilton is just ahead of us there. And yeah, we're going to try and take Gasly on this right side here as we do follow it through. It is starting to squeeze them out, and now this is where we really can put the power down and try and catch up with the start of the pack, as we do have to brake a little bit there, coming around into this tight right, and then even braking even more, following it through. Hamilton just ahead of us there. I cannot believe this start. We had an amazing start, and then we lost it all because we actually went off track, as we do continue our amazing work here of Lewis Hamilton ahead of us, and we have a lot of work to do now. We had not so much work to do, but now we have fallen down into 13th. And yeah, we still have a lot of work to do coming into this final little corner leading through. Danny Rick does set the fastest sector, but now this is where we can really catch characters like Hamilton and anyone else, Ocon ahead of them. And as we do come down this straight now, really slamming down on the power. Hamilton is really powering up there as we can continue the power through. We have good turning on the car, and we're going to continue to absolutely hammer it through now. Hamilton ahead of us there, Ocon. And then we have to brake very hard there just to make sure we don't hit Hamilton, and we continue to follow the cars through. Hamilton ahead of Ocon and Stroll ahead of Ocon there, as we do continue to follow all the way through, having to make sure that we continue to race as best as we possibly can now, and we're having to make sure that we are not conceding any more penalties than we already have, and having to brake a little bit as we hit the wall there, chipping the walls. We do follow it around now, braking even more into the fanatic area, as I like to call it, following the track all the way round. And we do have Hamilton ahead of us. Now we're having to brake with Ocon, Stroll ahead of them, and we're going to have to really try and put down the power now to overtake anyone that is ahead of them, but I can't see it happening. This is a very tight start. None of the overtaking, but now we can really press down. We need to wait for DRS to come on, and then we can really take advantage now. But yeah, we do have Hamilton, Ocon and Stroll ahead, and Hamilton is defending very well here. There's no way of us getting past Hamilton, but now we can really put down this speed. Can we finally catch Hamilton here? Having to put down the speed. We're literally on his back wheel. We're going to go for a late brake on him here, but there is no late brake because you don't need to brake, as it is a full speed through. And now we can try and catch Hamilton here, squeezing him out. We're in on this right side, just squeezing Hamilton out, and then we actually do get ahead of him there with Ocon and Stroll now ahead of us. We've got past one of the harder drivers, that is Lewis Hamilton. DRS is now open for us, so we have more of a chance of being able to scratch forward the pack, and yeah, we have more of an opportunity to be able to catch Ocon and Stroll here with DRS being opened. And now we really do have an opportunity here, and we cannot waste it. Cannot waste it like we did at the start. We do need to brake a bit more. Trying to handle this car is absolutely outrageous at the moment, and yeah, having to brake so much on these sections, but we do have to make sure we take our opportunities when we can overtake them. Now Ocon here, he is really feeling the pressure of my car, and yeah, he's going to brake, and we have to brake. He suddenly brakes right in front of us, and we have to continue to brake into the fanatic area now, as we do coming around on this right side, squeezing him out there, and we actually do get the overtake there on the inside. I cannot believe that just happened with Lance Stroll ahead of us now, and we're really putting the pressure on him, as we do actually get an amazing overtake on Ocon there. That was very tight, but we managed to actually get it done, as we do follow it through now with Stroll ahead of us and having to brake a little bit there, but we can continue to slam down on the power and continue to give Stroll that pressure that he does not want to have. And now we do have the opportunity here to speed down on old Lance Stroll here, but he is defending very well, making sure there's no opportunity for us to overtake him, as we do brake a little bit into that corner. And yeah, it is coming round to this tight right side here where Lance Stroll is, and we're going to now have the opportunity to hopefully get the DRS down and overtake Stroll, as long as we continue to stay within the limits of him. And we do have the DRS, it is open. We are now powering down on Lance Stroll here. Can we actually get the dive on him? and he is continuing. We're going to go for the late break on the inside there, and we actually get it done on Lance Stroll. We have Valtteri Bottas ahead of us, and then ahead of him is Sergio Perez. We do have our pit window opening very, very soon, and this race has become very spicy. I'm having to actually race to try and get back into it. We do have Valtteri Bottas ahead of us, which I cannot believe that they're this far down, but there's a lot of grid penalties, and Danny Rick, like I said, is at the top of the lead, which I cannot believe. Good on old Danny Rick there, but we are not going to let that happen. We're going to continue doing what we have to do, as we do go a little bit wide there. Following it through, we have Lance Stroll behind us, Valtteri Bottas and Sergio Perez ahead of us, and we're finally catching up on them as we do get Valtteri Bottas here. A little bit of a slow start of him out of that corner, but he does pick up the speed here, and so do we, following the chain through. And yeah, this race has been nothing short of excitement so far. It is only 13 laps, as we do break a little bit late there and go kind of wide, but it is working in our favour, because we're able to continue the power down on Sergio Perez and Valtteri Bottas. There is not many DRS zones in this track, so we have to be careful. But we have gone! I cannot believe that! Terminal damage! And that is the end of our race! My goodness! I cannot believe that! Our car has got terminal damage, and that is us out from the race. We're going to have to retire. I genuinely cannot believe that. That's terminal damage to the car, and we are out. Ladies and gentlemen, we are out of the race. We are not very happy, but our car has taken terminal damage, and we are out of the race. Let's see what the rest of the lineup was. I cannot believe that. That is insane. Our car has taken terminal damage, and we're out of the race. Not what I expected at all. Wow. Wowie wow wow. But we do! What the hell? I think we've won the Drivers' Championship, which is like nothing that I expected. We just basically had to retire from the session due to the car, but it looks like we did win the Drivers' Championship, which is what I like. Okay. Okay, yeah. We did. We won the Drivers' Championship, but Carlos Sainz up in third, and where did our teammate finish? Jack Aitken still in 19th. So we won the Drivers' Championship. I'm taking it because everyone was celebrating after we basically just retired from the session. Everyone's celebrating, and yeah, wow, that is absolutely incredible. I don't get why she's asking that, because we've already had the race. Yeah, we really need to durability. Cannot believe that. So we won the Drivers' Championship. Yeah. But our car failed. Right. So obviously we didn't achieve podium finish, and we didn't at least one position because obviously our car was damaged. So yeah, okay. Well, I guess that's the end of this episode. I cannot believe it. You know, we was doing amazingly getting up there, but I guess that's it. Technical difficulty to the car, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Sorry it's cut short, but technical difficulties to the car, and something that I didn't really know about. So yes guys, as I said, if you're brand new around here, you've never been to this channel before, please do hit the subscribe button, and if you do enjoy these videos, please do hit the like button, and I will see you guys in the next video, which will be at the United States Grand Prix, and I'll see you guys then. Peace guys. Woo!